Fashion Dolls. Happy Transformation Tuesday, May 26th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. Today, my very special guest is an actor, producer, and writer. Please join me as we welcome to the Dollhouse Joseph Kitembo Jr. Welcome. It is such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here.
Yes, such a pleasure to have you. So, before we kick off this interview and this conversation, how has 2026 been for you thus far?
Ooh, it has been a crazy year. It's been a bit of a journey to say the least. Um, I'm definitely learning a lot myself and just learning all the different challenges that I'm taking on thus far. So it's definitely been an eventful journey, but also a journey that's very educational.
And I must say, when I spoke with my guest yesterday, King Judah, we were talking about how 2026 was the year of opportunity, how 2026 is the year for more, and so much more to come for each and every one of us. And I like to create vision boards. So it's like everything that I've put into perspective is now coming full circle. Like so many great things for me this year. So putting it out there to anybody who felt like, okay, when you started working on something or a project, it didn't all come. It's gonna happen. So I believe in the power of manifestation that if you put it out there, it's gonna come to you. So definitely continue on to keep doing what you're doing. But for you, speaking of doing what you're doing, let's start at the beginning of your journey. Tell us, who is Joseph Katembo Jr.? I know who he is. I know he is extremely talented. He is an actor. He is a producer. He is a writer. You are a man, just like yesterday with my guest that I had on, King Judah, who is not only just an actor, but he is also a writer as well too. And make sure you guys go and donate and support his short film that his film that he's working on. Excuse me, Grit and Glory. Make sure you guys go and check out my Instagram, Style by Stevie underscore daytime. Film is female led.
Mm.
So shout outs to him for giving women an opportunity
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Big shout outs to them.
to express their creativity. Definitely go and check it out. Shout outs to King Judah. And he will be coming back on the show again later this year. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But Joseph, tell us about your journey from the beginning, from then to now, where you grew up, and at what age did you discover a passion for acting?
So I was I was born and raised in Southeast DC. I lived in Anacostia apartment complex called Stonebridge. So I lived there for about 6 years of my life, and then I moved on to Silver Spring, Maryland. And I don't know, I just always fell in love with the arts. I fell in love with TV shows and film and just overall storytelling as a whole. I think the earliest age that I can remember, I was 8 or 9, and I had my first open call professional audition for a Disney show, nevertheless, called Jessie. And I remember when I got there was just an abundance of kids and just family members of different creeds, orientations, and it was really beautiful to see, you know, like-minded kids who had the same passion and really just wanted to see, okay, what if I get this part? So I remember being so captivated by that, also being incredibly nervous because it's like, okay, yes, this is a beautiful thing. All these people are here. But then it's like, okay, now all these people are gunning for the same part that I want. And it's like, all right, now the fight is intense. I do the audition. They bring me in back to read the sites. About 2 weeks after the audition, I get a call And they're like, hey, this is Joseph Kitembo Jr. Yes. So we like you so much, we want to call you back. We want to see how you interact with the rest of the cast. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. But unfortunately, at that time, I couldn't really afford to make the trip to the studio. So I didn't, so I couldn't get the part. And somebody else obviously filled that role and he did wonderful. But in my head, I was like, okay, if Disney is like, hey, we're gonna give you a callback. We see something in you. It's like, okay, that's motivation enough to keep this wheel turning. And so as I got older, there was a local theater company that I still think is up and running now called Studio Theater in DC. It's right next to Howard University. And I went over there because they hosted seasonal workshops for actors. So it was winter, spring, and summer workshops. And I was always going there. Oftentimes they would host auditions for just small little plays that they were doing. And I was always just, the 13-year-old kid who was just auditioning for everything. Because again, I was like, okay, Disney's willing to give me a call. I got some juice. Let's keep it going. I want to learn everything that I possibly can of the arts and what it means to really be an actor. Um, and I feel like anybody who wants to be an actor first figure out why you want to be an actor. And I think that's one of the things that I had to do growing up. I was like, okay, why do I want to be an actor? All my favorite actors: Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Al Pacino. They're all on red carpets, the glitz, the glamour. But it's like, okay, outside of that, why do you want to be an actor? And I think learning my craft in theater really helped me understand why I want to do it and why my passion for it has just never stopped since I started it. So yeah, long story short, after I made the move from theater to TV and film, I starred in several feature films and on Tubi, on Amazon, and it's just been a roller coaster of a ride ever since.
You sound kind of low for a minute. You went out on the last part. You were telling me about your shows.
Can you hear me now?
A little. Okay, keep talking. Talk now.
Hang on, let me try and put on my other earpods. Sorry, my AirPods kind of suck. Is that better?
It's still kind of low. Okay,
Better?
a little bit better. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead. You were saying the last part about some shows that you had.
Yeah, I was saying, ever since I made the switch from theater to TV and film, I have now starred in several feature films that are now featured on Amazon and Tubi. I currently just wrapped up actually a TV show that I'm doing for Amazon Prime called The Rejects. I also happen to have one of the lead roles on that show. So like I said, it's just been a roller coaster of a ride. Not everything is going to happen all at once, but I'm
Right.
more than willing to stay in for the journey and just learn anything and everything.
And each and every day for us is a new journey, is a new opportunity to any up and coming filmmaker, any up and coming actor, writer, or producer. Because, like I said when I introduced you, just the same with Keaton Judah, and shout outs to another Nelson Davis, who was a good friend of the show as well.
Mm,
What I love about all three of you is that you don't just put all of your eggs in one basket. You
right.
juggle different outlets, and you like to dabble in acting, you like to
Yeah.
dabble in writing, you like to dabble into producing. And I think that that is key. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that on Amazon. The show is called The Rejects, and Joseph. here is in it. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well. Now you have a very extensive catalog of work. I mean, I how I've come to know you through your work is through Stranded, which would have been last year in 2025.
Mm,
And the list goes on to uh, Death of the Author and so many that you've done in your career. Which one to you stands the test of time that you enjoy doing? Because as an artist, we always have these characters that we resonate with the most
mm.
in our career and time. Which do you get recognized the most for, and which one resonates to you in a way that is deep, that is personal?
Ooh, that is a really good question. Um, that's going back to what you had said, with dabbling in acting and producing and writing. That's I feel like those are the different jobs of a storyteller. And being that I love storytelling, I'm more than willing to. Okay, I know I can act, but let me start producing. I've done the producing. I've produced the film Stranded, like you said, overseas in Nigeria, which is still waiting for release. Um, writing. It's. I don't really think there's a specific role that I've played or had the you know fortunate honor of being able to create or help created. Yeah, I don't think there's a project that's my favorite. I will say, um, a project that I get recognized most for is my podcast, believe it or not, called "Who Killed Alaska," which is featured on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and that's basically just a story style of podcasting where I play a character called Detective Finn Denver, and I'm a private investigator who's been hired by an upscale family in New York, and basically they've hired me to investigate the murder of their son, and I turn my whole investigation into a podcast. And we've been going on strong for 3 years now. We're just about to finish our third and final season. Um,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally, this was our second season actually, where we made the top 15. We were on number 12 of most listened to drama podcasts globally. I believe I posted about it on Instagram not too long ago when the show was really popular. So yeah, I've had a few people like, oh my god, I hear your podcast, it's really nice. So I've had that. And Entitled is another film that's out on Prime and Tubi that recently came out. That's another film that I'm proud of. That's I just got the news not too long ago that entire film is actually going to be turned into a trilogy. So there's a sequel in the works. I can't really say too much about that, but I will say returning cast. That's all I'm at liberty to say. Um, my character Henry may be coming back, but yeah, I'm definitely excited for that part and proud of that project as a whole because Entitled took 2 years to film about.
Wow.
Yeah, so to finally finish it and have people love it and want more of it, it's like okay, we're doing our thing.
Shout outs to my amazing colleague Alvin Tit for Tat, this and that. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to his channel and check me out over there. We've done several collaborations. Shout outs to my other colleagues, Bubs the God, my brother K Tooks. Make sure you guys go and check him out. The Sean Stallings, Harold Cordero. It's an amazing ensemble. We are the Justice League of doing
Mm,
collaborations together. Each and every one of us collectively have something going, but Alvin is that glue that keeps us all together because it's his
Mm.
platform. And you guys see me going to other people's houses. Of course, I have my own here, Style by Stevie, but to see me go in other people's houses is amazing. So definitely, and congratulations to you on your podcast. Congratulations to you on this project. I know you can't give certain things away, but make sure you guys are staying tuned and supporting as well. And my next question for you is what philosophy gets you through life's challenges? Because when I asked you in the beginning, how has 2026 been for you thus far? What's a philosophy that has gotten you through some of life's challenges?
This philosophy, this philosophy was actually from one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you've ever seen a film called Rocky Balboa with Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
This
Yes.
was the last standalone Rocky film back in '05, I believe. And the quote is, "It doesn't matter how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." Um, and that stuck with me, because not to make my life a sob story, but 2026 has been kind of hard, you know, as it is for all people. It's been hard, but it's about how you overcome that and come out of that stronger. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. And it's like I said, it's been a learning experience, but I feel like it's made me a stronger and better person because of
And I will say this, as and I was telling King Judah this yesterday.
it.
Yes, Alvin, definitely. I can't wait. You said this weekend, and I will be there. And tomorrow, I got an off day as well too. So if you guys are looking for me, no show tomorrow. We will be back Thursday though with Christian Barber. So make sure you guys tune in for that. But I will say this: 2026 has been hard and difficult for all of us, but as creatives, it's inspired for me, from my standpoint, it's inspired me to keep creating, to keep using my voice and my platform even more. That's what has inspired me to do. Because when you are so engaged in what you love to do, you don't have anything else to worry about because it keeps you busy,
Absolutely.
it keeps your
Yeah.
mind content, and when you exercise your mind and all of your frustration, anger, whatever, you channel that into something productive,
Oh yeah.
then you don't have a care in the world to worry about. And that's what I try to do. I try to keep myself as busy. So definitely that would be my advice to anybody. Uh, and my next question is, we talk about life. What are you most grateful for in your life? Because as a creative, as I was calling out some of your roles that you've played in shows, you have to look back like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. What are you most grateful for in life?
Life. Simple as that. I'm grateful for life. Because of life, I've been, given the opportunity to be in the projects that you named off. Um,
Yes,
and, because of life, I have the opportunity to look back and be like, hey, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. And, glory be to God. There's a lot of people that didn't get to see 2026. I didn't get to see 2025, and I've been able to see the next day. And as long as I'm able to see the next day, I'm glad. You know, I might not get every project, I might not get every audition,
okay,
but the fact that I was even offered an opportunity to audition, I'm happy with that. It's the little wins, it's the small things that add up. You know, it's not a sprint, it's a race. But as long as I still have life and I can wake up and still participate in said race, I'm good.
absolutely. And that's another thing we touched on, giving people their flowers
Mm,
and celebrating the present now
mm,
while we're here. 2026, we lost so many people. And I was
right.
telling King Judah that yesterday when I did my conversation with him. We were talking about, the importance of celebrating people, pouring into people, giving them their flowers, which is something that I do in every single one of my interviews with my
Absolutely.
guests. You can never say I don't. To any of my fashion dolls out there, you can never say she doesn't give her flowers to the guests. Whenever they come on, I'm pouring into them. I try not to fangirl out. I had Coach D Speaks on not too long ago from the Midas Touch Network, and I was trying not to fangirl out Joseph. And we have a question
Yeah, I
uh,
just saw that.
from Chrissy as well. Yeah, yes. Uh, and I tried not to fangirl out. But let me get to you guys' questions. Chrissy and then Alvin. He says, "Hi, Joseph. Your work is stellar. Is there any other actor or actors you would like to work with?"
Ooh, um, that's a good question. And funny enough, I had a conversation with my brother actually, and he actually asked me the same question. So looking back at my career, I've been fortunate enough to work with some pretty well-known actors. I did a film called A Naughty Christmas Story with Trey Chaney. For those who don't know, Trey Chaney
The
played
Wire.
The
Yes.
Wire, Power. Uh, Me and him also were working on The Rejects. So, all in all, that guy, he's a brother. I love that guy to pieces. And I'm, more than willing to work with him on anything else. But I don't know. He's a well known actor that I got to work with. Um, a really well known actor I would love to work with is probably either Idris Elba or Tom Hardy.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good choice.
I love Idris Elba and just, I don't know if you've seen the show called Luther. I love crime dramas.
Yes.
That's a really good show to watch. He's really well. I mean, he's well in anything, really, but he just has a delivery that's different than anybody else. And same thing with Tom Hardy. I mean, you put Tom Hardy in anything and he's just great. So, just to be able I don't even have to have a lead role. Just to appear as a cameo or to have a scene, give me one line, one piece of dialogue, and I would soak up everything just like a sponge. I would love to do that. But yeah, those are the only two that come to mind.
Thanks, Christopher. I moved to South Africa. Yes, Alvin did, and there is a big time difference, like 7 hours. And I look forward to that. I will be on the panel because we have been chopping it up. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And then my other colleague, Deshaun, Bubs, all of us, we will be getting back together. So I'm looking forward to that. Another question that I wanted to ask you, since we talk about life and
Yeah.
experiences and, giving people their flowers, in 10 years from now,
Mm.
how would you like to be living your life creative as an actor?
Uh, Doing this full time, honestly. You know, where I'm just looking back and I'm like, okay, let me look at my schedule real quick. All right, I'm booked and busy. I have to be here, 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 and here. And that's the life I want. I look at going back to a friend of mine, Trey Chaney. I talk to him and he's always busy. He's always on set. He's always producing things, and it's like, yeah, that's the life I want. I want this full time and just make it who I am.
Absolutely. When do you feel the most free? Because I know as we sit and we look back on our legacy, our work, the things that we've accomplished, all of our dreams, all of everything, when do you feel the most free?
I feel the most free when I'm able to create, when I'm able to get away from all the excess noise that is the world, you know. And for the excess noise can be anything: friends, family, work, bills, whatever it is. I need to get away from that and really just allow myself to be connected with myself. check in with myself. And I feel like the best way I do that is creating, whether I'm on set and I'm creating a scene that's been written out by a really powerful director, or I'm at home and I'm creating a character. I'm creating my own scene for a project that I'm writing. Uh, whatever it is, creating is it's peaceful. It can be challenging, but I don't know. I find peace in that. I find solace in that.
And also, I will say this, you because you sound so much like my colleague Bubs the God right now. Like, whoa, it's the parallels are uncanny because that was something I could have sworn he just said in the interview. And Alvin, you can attest to this. I think you were there in the chat when he did the interview with K Tukes. He says that he's somewhat a introvert,
Yeah.
and now he's sort of coming out of his shell to become extroverted. But he said one thing, and that was creativity. When
Mm,
he's in his creative bubble, when you're in your creative bubble and in your lane, nobody can stress you out.
no.
And even with me, I've learned that I've had to separate the two with family and doing this platform. And my mom just got out of the hospital not too long ago. So I've learned the balance. I mean, I've already been taking care of her,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I'm taking care of my mom, running this talk show, making sure that everything is in order. And it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I'm focusing on me. So I started looking up this is my moment quotes that are for okay, like this is my moment, this is my time. Sometimes you're forced in these positions that you don't necessarily want to be in, but God puts you there for a reason.
Yeah.
And in the end result, the blessing will be as big. And I must say that each blessing each day to be able to, like you just said, be able to wake up and be alive to do this. I'm only 32 years old. Y'all would think that I'm like 19 or 22 or something. I'm a grown woman. I'm
Mm,
32. So I'm
yeah.
just like, from life's experience over time, these things have taught me that when it's responsibility, you have to make sure that you're finding balance. And that's something that I totally give credit to my mother for, which
Mm,
is making sure that, okay, you balance out. Because I have four brothers, two sisters. One of my sisters, unfortunately, is no longer with me. But what I've been taught was family values of making sure that you find the values of what works with you in your career. So
absolutely.
definitely, definitely. My mm, my next question for you is what's something that you wish that society had?
Ooh. Um, there's a lot of things that I wish society. Uh,
You can
kindness.
be real. This is the dollhouse, honey. Go right on ahead. Let us know.
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that I wish society had, but I feel like kindness is one of the most important things I wish society had. You know, I just I don't know. Every generation is different, but I just wish we had more common sense in this world. We knew right from wrong, um, and we were just more kind to each other. Just for the sake of being kind. You go on social media, you open the news, and there's just so much hatred and unkindness in the world. It's like, all right, can we all just take a second and just say, hey, let's chill out. Let's chill out. Let's all just be kind. Let's be nice.
Alvin, he's laughing at me. Y'all know how I feel about what's going on. And I will say this. Find your joy.
Yeah.
Find your joy, find your escape. As creatives, we have learned to find our escapes and find our joy. And through me, in the midst of all of the chaos as the world is burning, I
Mm,
have learned to find my joy. Um, and for me, finding my joy, that was another question that I wanted to ask you, which is what does joy look like for you? How do you find your joy in the midst of everything going on? And you said, you wish the world would have kindness. I do too. So I second that notion. What does joy look like for you?
kind of, going back to being able to create. That's my joy. If you go back throughout history and you look at all the different successful artists, Picasso, Michelangelo, as artists, we suffer so much. That's why it's called a painting. We try and put all of our creative thoughts and just our pain into whatever it is that we're creating. So as long as I have that outlet to be able to do that, that's my joy. Because the after effect of that is something beautiful, and that's what sometimes you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet.
Absolutely. You look flawless, Miss Stevie. Come see me when you reach 49. Thank you. Baby, I try to take care of myself. And one thing I take pride in is making sure that I'm a firm advocate, believer in self care.
Yeah,
And I think that we should all take care of ourselves. I believe that you can't pour from an empty
empty cup.
glass.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're pouring into yourself. So that means every single day I get up every morning, I exercise. I try to do at least 30 minutes every morning. I also try to make sure that I indulge in the
Mhm.
exterior, the outside, the getting my hair done, getting my nails done. Um, just not too long ago, me and my aunt went to a beauty salon,
Mm.
and that look from last week, the hair that you guys were going crazy over, yes, shout outs to the stylist Ashley. So I did something for myself. I typically would do my own hair because yes, I do style my own hair. The hairstyles that you see that look so good on me, I do them, and then I have another beauty consultant. I have a team behind me, but I believe in taking time for yourself. So make sure that you are taking time for yourself because you're going to have to recharge, you're going to have to refuel, you're going to have to rejuvenate. It's just like when a car runs out of gas, you're going to have to refill that tank back up because the
Mm.
car is on. Bodies cannot keep going and going and going and drive you here and drive you there just like a car would. At a certain period of time, it is going to shut down eventually. So make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Definitely. And they're talking about the ocean. My colleague Bubs the God, so again, shout outs to him. Another Bub story, yes. Um, he says this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard it. Uh, Listen, take a few moments, go outside, walk in the grass barefoot,
Mm.
center yourself.
Mm.
That was something that he also said in that interview. Joseph, I'm in South Carolina. I'm a country girl. No way I'm getting out there in no grass with those bugs and frogs. And yes, I'm scared of snakes and spiders. That anything that crawls and slithers. Y'all know my fear now. But ain't no way I'm getting out there in that grass. Unless I have shoes on, I'm good. Now y'all can do that in your in your city, but not this girl here.
Most I'll do is the beach. I can't do the bugs or anything. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh.
no. And those big little hornet things that about this big here down here in the Carolinas. Uh-uh. Um, I don't think Bubs knows that how big the bugs are down here. I love being out in nature. Yes, being out in nature and especially during this time is
Mm.
it's a beautiful thing. I'm sitting outside of my porch with my wine watching a lot. See, when it's cool down, that's the best time. You get you a swing, find you a cool shade, and you sit and just be one with nature. And that's
Mm.
what I was telling my mom. My mom was like, I got people that want to come, my friends want to come up. I said, do it outside. That's nice. It's springtime. It's beautiful. You've got your swing out there in the yard. We do have a swing. So I'm like, it's so beautiful to be around nature. Y'all see how Oprah does her Super Soul Sunday shows, like it's out in the how can I say it in the forest, like in a
Mm.
forest or
Mm.
something. That's the type of environment that you need to find your safe space, find your escape. And that was going to be my next question for you, Joseph. What is your safe space, or what do you consider home, and what does home feel like to you?
Mm. Home is, this is probably going to sound cliche, but home is the gym. for me. The gym for me is one of those places that I get to center myself and put all my worries, anything that I'm trying to work out, anything that I'm like in the process of building. If I'm struggling through something, I put it all in the workout. And when I'm done, boom, I just carry on with the rest of my day. And I feel like the 2, 3 hours that I put into my lift afterwards, I'm great. Everything just clicks. Everything is just, I'm ready for everything. So that would definitely be my safe space. Just a place where I can meditate and really just be one with myself
Yes.
and figure out what I have to get done and how I'm going to get it
I also agree. My colleague Alvin says, I'm laying in my bed watching the live with all the doors open, watching the ocean. And you know what? A friend of mine was saying the same thing. We've been getting a lot of rain down here
done. Oh
lately,
yeah.
and in other cities as well. There's been a lot of rain. Rain is so therapeutic, it helps you relax. So
Oh
you have to find your escape.
yep.
I'm not really a rainy day type of person, but it is relaxing. I like sunshine. I don't like it when it's too hot. But I must say, rain has taught me one thing, and that is to relax, to be still, is
Mm,
put a pause on everything. Things that you would want to do outside, you can't really do. You have to be content, sit still, and be in the moment. So what I do is I dim my lights. I have a like a candle. I get in my on a Sunday, especially Sundays for me are the best time to write. I don't know what it is. But as a creative, find your escape, find your place. My colleague Alvin says also the gym. My safe space for me is being in my room. Being in
mm,
my room, being, how can I say it? uh, if I'm doing something. Like
mm,
yesterday, I stayed up and I did my mom's hair, and we just talked, and then I went to bed kind of late. But that's my escape when I'm doing something, when I'm creating. I'm in my mode.
yeah.
I can cook. I can think about all the things that I want to do in the future and how I want to improve on the next this and the next. So definitely, definitely find your emotional uh, escape spot. Every actor does it. Every actor has that spot that they go to when they want to think about something, or any creative, any entertainer, they find that space that works for them. And they're just like, okay, I'm gonna go there. So definitely.
Definitely find
What
your
philosophical
anchor.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just building on what you had said, and just it's important to really find your own anchor and find whatever centers
Yes.
you away from all the excess noise, and just be okay with being one with yourself first.
And to piggyback off of what you just said, centering
Mm,
yourself. We as humans, as human beings, is in our DNA. It's in our natural instincts to nurture, to give. We give so much of ourselves to the world that we have to make sure that we're giving back to
to
ourselves. Again, you
ourselves.
can't pour from an empty cup. And it's important that you pour and refill, recharge, take a moment for yourself. That's my next question for you. What is your breathing sound like? What does your breathing feel like, Joseph, for you?
Ooh, I mean, sometimes when you've had a stressful day, and sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym. Sometimes you just want to have a little drink. Sometimes you need your little shot. It's like, all right, I've I've earned one. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that I have one. You know, I just I find what works out for me. If it's writing, then that's what I'll do. If it's going to the gym, okay, I'll do that. Sometimes I'm just like, maybe I don't want to write. Maybe I don't want to go to the gym. Sometimes I just want to be alone in my bed, get some popcorn, watch a good movie. It just, wherever there's peace and quiet, that's what a breather looks like for me, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Take a minute for yourself. Take a
Mm,
minute for yourself out of the day. We are so consumed by technology First thing in the morning, what we do is we pick up our phones. Me, I talk to God. I have a conversation with Him. I do my morning affirmations and devotion,
Mm.
and that's what gets me going. And then any checking of the messages that I've missed. I love what Instagram is doing with the sleep mode. At 7 p.m., my thing, you see that crescent, that
Oh
moon,
yes,
that means
yes.
that I'm in sleep mode. And I check any messages in the morning. Other than that, I sleep. And I schedule my posts. You guys would think I'm up posting at 12 in the morning. No, no, no. I set my stuff. Now you guys know the secret. I set a schedule for
Posts,
my
yeah.
posts to drop. So it's not me posting. I'm in the bed and my post will drop. So I set it the day before. That's what I've learned. So I try to limit my time, even though it's so much going on. I always try to make sure that I stay ahead of the curve. Definitely. Definitely. So we talk a lot about legacy. What's one thing that you want to be remembered for?
Someone who didn't take no for an answer. Going back, piggybacking off of what we were speaking about earlier, and just overcoming a lot of things, and how this year has been an educational journey for me. You know, I think one thing I'd want to be remembered for is just not taking no for an answer. And especially as actors, we have to get used, not just actors, but as creatives. We're not always going to have that yes. We're going to be rejected. We're going to have people telling us no, and that's okay. That's the beauty in it. As long as a creative, you know that it's not a no, it's just a no for right now. Go out, keep pushing. You know, this person might have said no, but you didn't go to that person. That might be a yes. You might have one no, but five different people give you yes. So it's just never take no for an answer. Never get out of the fight. Stay in the fight because it's going to get ugly. But what happens afterwards is, in my opinion, the answer to why we do what we do. You know, we know it's going to be tough. We know it's going to be grueling, but we got to persevere. We got to keep going and push because we have a goal. We have dreams to achieve, and it's not done until the work is done.
Absolutely. And Alvin, you thought I was up posting early mornings? No, I'm not actually up. I schedule my posts the day before. Like say today is Tuesday, the 26th.
Yeah.
I will set my post for today, for tomorrow, for today.
Mm.
So I love that Instagram you to go in and schedule your posts. So yes, that's how I do it. Y'all be thinking I'm up, but I set all of my posts. Some of them I post myself in the daytime, but when it's like in the mornings, like at 3 a.m. or 12 a.m., like my good morning, because I always do something to inspire you guys. Like this morning's was because I posted it. Make sure you guys go and check it out on Instagram, and get you some inspiration. We all could use it in these dark times.
Mhm.
Make sure that y'all are going and checking it out. Every morning I post something inspirational. Hopefully that will inspire you. So it's about stepping outside of your comfort zone. And today's thought was, my dear, step outside of your comfort zone because it's not really comfortable. You've allowed yourself to settle when you deserve so much more. You can do whatever you want. You got this. So
Mm.
remember, always remember that you've got this. To anybody who feels like giving up. So nobody's seen it, nobody liked it, but you guys can see it on Instagram. It's up. Yeah, so I set it for yesterday for it to drop today. So yes, I schedule my posts. So that's a good way to limit your time off of what we like to call doom scrolling. And trust
Yeah.
me, I'm guilty of it. I with being at the front lines, covering all of the stories and everything, and doing hosting this platform is you got to stay aware and informed. But even I get mentally drained sometimes. So make sure that you are protecting your peace. And what I do is I schedule, and then if it's something important, I'll go back and I'll check, and then I hop right back off. So I'm back and forth. But other than that, I try to make time for myself. So make sure that you are making time for you as well, also. And that's a good way. to do it. So, speaking of making time for yourself, when do you feel the most alive, Joseph? When do you feel the most alive?
Ooh, um, when I'm on set, honestly, is when I feel most alive. When I'm on set, when I'm around people who understand me, who give me the ability to be myself. You know, um, that's when I feel my most alive. When I'm able to be myself.
Absolutely. There you go. There you go. And creativity is the beauty of creativity is that it brings you joy because it's something that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an escape. We all the key word for today's show is escape. You got to find your escape as a creator. Go to that space and take yourself to new heights that you've never been before. As just read
Absolutely.
from the quote, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that's what that looks like to anybody that is watching. All right, fashion dolls. So we're going to shift gears here, and we're going to take some audience questions. It is time for our games here, and I did this yesterday with King Judah. I do it with all of my guests. All right, so we're going to have some fun here with Joseph. All right. So the first game is called the Rapid Five. And Joseph has to tell me five things that he can't live without. And the next segment is called Turn the Tables. So it is no longer going to be Style by Stevie. It's going to be the Joseph show. All right. It's going to be the Joseph
Joseph Show.
Kitembo show. All right. So he's going to ask me some questions. Some of you guys have been burning to ask me, the audience members. Whatever you want to know, he's going to ask. Whatever you guys want to know, you can ask. So it's sort of like putting the hostess in the hot seat. So he's going to ask
Mm.
me questions. I have no clue what he's going to ask. But we're going to start off with the rapid five. The rapid five is, or your guilty five, your guilty pleasures, the things you can't live without. I'll go and I'll give a few examples. I love pepperoni pizza, and I love binge watching Sex in the City. I'm a big Carrie
Ooh.
Bradshaw stan. I love Sarah Jessica Parker. I think she's one of the most fashion forward women, and I've modeled a lot of the fashions that I've worn here on Style by Stevie after her. So those are my two things. So Joseph, for you, what are your top five things you can't live without?
I can't live without water. I I don't know if you notice I've taken a few swigs of this throughout the interview. I'm a big like water fanatic. People will probably those closest to me would be like, he drinks a lot of water. So yeah,
Got to.
anywhere I'm going, even if I'm going like 5 minutes down the road, I'm bringing this with me. So that's one. Two, my AirPods. I need music in my ear if I'm going anywhere. You know, music is definitely one of my safe spaces just to be able to calm down and just yeah, music. It just speaks to me. Um, funny enough, I'm actually looking at this. My necklace, cross necklace. I don't go anywhere without it. It's an old necklace that I got from some sort of store years ago. And it's just, yeah, I never leave without it. I always go everywhere with it. And it's, for me, it sort of serves as like a good luck charm, so to speak. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, that just, it just keeps me safe. Always pray for good luck, for safety, and just, yeah. Um, what's another thing I can't live with? Got my water, got my AirPods, got my necklace. Oh gosh, I I haven't even thought about this really. Um,
your guilty pleasures. Any shows you like to binge watch? Any? Yeah, are you a sports lover? I know King Judah yesterday and a few other of my male guests. They love sports. Men love
yeah,
sports, ladies. So if you want to know the
I
way to a man, it's
sports.
sports.
Yeah, I'm a huge sports fan. Football, UFC. UFC is a big thing that I follow. Boxing, MMA, UFC. I love those sports. I'm a big jiu-jitsu fanatic myself. I also do jiu-jitsu. Um, so yeah, there you go. I guess that would be another thing that I couldn't live without is just doing jiu-jitsu. Whether it's gi, no gi, gotta go around, gotta roll around with the guys and just unwind, de-stress. And then jiu-jitsu has kind of been that outlet for me to do so. So yeah.
Boom, there you have it, fashion dolls. And those are Joseph's five things he can't live without. Okay. Jesus. All right. My heart is beating through my chest because I have no clue what he's going to ask me. My Lord. Okay. It is no TV show Fashion Dolls. It is the Joseph Kitembo show. All right. So Joseph is going to get a chance to ask me some questions. I know a lot of my viewers want to know. And some of the viewers yourself, you're going to ask me questions as well. So I'm going to pass it on to Joseph here. Take it away.
Okay, Stevie, my first question for you would be what point in your life made you decide, okay, I want to do this show?
Wow. I always knew I wanted to host a talk show.
Mm,
I always been like growing up with siblings. Each and every one of us, we had our own personality,
mm,
and my mom, she made sure that each and every one of us, because you know, when you growing up with siblings, if you have brothers and sisters, y'all know, Alvin, you can attest to this. All of us growing up is like you're competing for mom's affection, for dad's affection. You want attention. So I've always been the one that's been somewhat of a rebel. I've always been the one that wants to shine and do something.
mm,
So it's been inside me since 8 years old. And I can remember, do y'all know the little old fashioned pill crushers? That was my microphone. And I had a thing, I just love doing hair. My
mm,
grandmother had one here in the house somewhere, and that was my little microphone. And at the time, the talk shows that were out was what? It was Sally Jesse Raphael. It was Jenny Jones. It was Ricky Lake. Like the competition for talk shows, Oprah, Maury, it was so many. Donahue, it was so many of them out at that
mm,
time. I'm a 90s baby, so I'm look at me telling my age. Y'all, I think I told it to y'all early. 32. So yes, those were the shows that were out. My grandmother would always watch, what was it, Jenny Jones or either Ricky Lake was playing somewhere in the house.
mm,
And watching the talk shows growing up is where I kind of got, my idea. And I also wanted to do hair as well, watching my grandmother. So a lot of the women in the house would get their hair done and they would give me all of the boxes, whether it was hair color, relaxer, whatever. I just had a thing to collect them. And I said, I want to look just like one of the girls on that box.
mm,
I think it was the dark and lovely box. Y'all know the green one with the lady on it. I said, I want to look just like the girl on the box and I want to host a talk show.
mm,
Jenny Jones was playing. So I'm just like, okay. Growing up, fast forward, high school, I took public speaking and we had to recite the words to Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, how I'm talking right now, which is very articulate, very proper, is
yeah.
completely different from how they talk in Shakespeare. The language, as you're looking down and you're reading it, just is like, this is not how we really talk. It's like the dialect is different. So we had to recite the lines in front of the class. I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck, but I'm like, why am I nervous? We see our peers every day. We see each other every day. My best friend, she was sitting next to me, who became my hairstylist season 1 of Style by Stevie. So she's like, girl, if you don't go up there and do that speech, and they were kind of laughing and chuckling at it too. But I did well. I scored a 90. So good job for
Okay,
that.
on my back.
So that's kind of where I got my idea of wanting to
Mm,
host a platform, breaking out of my shell, just from taking public speaking. And then, boom, right after graduating, I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, I got something to say.
mm,
And it was one of the magazines, either Vogue or Harper's Bazaar. And my sister principal at the time, she would give me all of the issues of Vogue, the big thick issues that would be like what 800 pages, and I'm
Mhm.
sitting there. The only brands I grew up with was South Pole and Fat Farm, just like that. And I'm like, okay, what is going to be the name of it? It was originally Weekdays Topics.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, here I am, Style by Stevie. Is
Wow.
perfect because the first thing when people think about it is fashion. Even when I
Yep.
reached out to Joseph here and a lot of my other guests, they're just like, "Why you want to interview me though? They think it's just a fashion platform." And I'm
Right.
just like, "No, it's so much more than just that. It's all of the things. It's deep conversation. I provide the fashion and the looks, okay." And they don't stay the same. They're always changing. But one thing I'm going to do is bring joy. I'm going to make sure
Mhm.
that the conversation makes people think. You're going to walk away with something. And it's going to be intentional. I try not to bore my guests. And I also try to educate, inform for anybody who wants to get into the entertainment business. They not only learn from me, but they learn from my guests as well too. So that's how the birth of Style by Stevie came about, just from that right there.
Wow. It's beautiful. Um, okay. Gosh, wow, that's such a beautiful answer. Um, okay. So earlier you spoke on, you know, the women in your life that have kind of inspired you to be who you are. What female in your family would you say inspired you the most to be who you are currently?
My mother, my
Your mother.
mother, listen, I was the third born, and the connection, because see, I wasn't playing, and I told King Judah this yesterday. I
Mm,
said that my mother said after she had my older and my older sister, she said, I ain't having no more kids. And that's what our moms always say, I ain't having no more kids. And then they
right, right.
wind up pregnant. So what 1992, she's pregnant, and then boom, 93, here I come, this baby with these almond shaped eyes, brown almond shaped eyes, looking up at her like, okay, mom, it's me and you. And my dad was there. That's all I can remember. But um, my mom has been a major influence. And in fact, so I get it all the time when I go out, and I'm pretty sure we all get it. Oh my God, you look just like your mom. You sound just like your mom. You have her personality, because my mom is a Libra, October 7th.
Mm,
I'm a Scorpio, October 31st. And it's just like our signs, we are so much alike, and it's to the point where it's scary and weird. Like whatever pain she feels, if she's sad and down, I'm sad and down, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not just, it's not just me going through it. I'm pretty sure there's other people that go through the same thing as well too. So my mom has been a major influence, and my grandmother, who is a, we talk about blessings, 82 years old, still here, still beautiful, has such wisdom. These are the
mm,
two key most important women in my life. Now, diamonds are a girl's best friend, but I don't care about diamonds. Those are the two most important diamonds, my mother and my
mm.
grandmother. I wouldn't be the woman I am today if it wasn't for these two women.
That's
And my
beautiful.
aunts. Shout out, sorry about that. My aunts too. Shout outs to my aunts, my mom's
Gotta give
sisters, my mom
aunties
and
some
his three
love.
sisters. And each of these, my cousin Yvonne, my cousin Sherry, who's also co-owner here of my talk show Style by Stevie, who I've had on and you guys love. These women have been pivotal.
Mm.
All of the women in my family, on both sides, my mom, and then my grandmothers as well too. All of those women have been pivotal in shaping my upbringing. So that's for sure.
Wow, 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 wow. It's beautiful. How much time do we have? Can I ask another question?
As many as you want, as many as you want. Just as long as you don't do what Kid Griffey did. What was it? The previous week before, he tried to get all up in my business. He was digging. Like, what type of guy do you like? You know what you into, and it was hilarious. I was squirming in the hot seat. I'm like, get me out of this
Get me out of this
right
hot
now.
seat. I don't like it here.
Yes, but it was funny. It was funny. But people finally kind of got to know what I look for. But
Right,
yes, you
right.
guys can check that out. See that is up.
Um, the next question would be, Okay, so with everything that you're doing right now with the show, um, in 5, 10 years time from now, where do you see you yourself as a person being, and where do you see the overall show and the brand going?
I see myself with my own network.
Hmm.
Like Oprah has her network, and I'm sure there's not a lot of black women that I can think of that have their own talk show on a network and that's putting on other filmmakers, producers. I would do all of that. That's where I see myself in the future. I see myself. Drew Barrymore is another one of my favorite talk shows I like to watch. I like how she also has merch. And I was
Mm,
telling King Judah this, I think yesterday or someone else. I said, I would like to do something like that. I would like to have my name on products. I would like to have my name on different things, all of that and so much more. That's what I would like to see in the future. So from then to now, continuing to speak truth to power, continuing to follow my dreams. There is a season 21 and a season 22 coming soon. Season 21 is January 1st, 2027. So I'm already working on getting guests, and more bookings are still coming in, booked for the remainder of this year, which is
oh
a
yes.
blessing. So thankful. Like it's been strenuous throughout this week while I'm doing these interviews. I've been getting guests, so we're booked up for the remainder of this year. And I know about it's like, how does she do it? How do you stay so consistent? And it's because I have what's called the, y'all know Beyonce is my muse.
Mm,
So I have the Beyonce approach to doing things. I do it silently. And then when you least expect it, that's when it comes out. So yes, definitely.
I like that. I like that. Gosh, I can't think of anything else now. I feel like I feel like wow. All right. Gosh. Ooh.
Oh, you did, Chrissy. Thank you. Yes, and that is something I would love to do because you guys been asking me for merch. Um, I would love to have T-shirts and things like that. I know. Shout outs to my colleague Bubs. Y'all make sure that y'all go and subscribe to his channel. He has merch.
Mm,
So who knows? That could be something that I could work on in the future. And yes, fashion doll merchandise.
yes.
Faith is substance. Shout outs to my girl. She said a fashion doll production company. Who knows? I might trademark that too because I do call you guys the fashion dolls. Definitely. So who knows? Stay tuned. Just there.
Mm, gosh. I can't. I honestly can't think of anything else. I just feel like I don't know. Talking with you has really been interesting. And just I've seen the videos that you sent me of just past interviews, and just you make everybody feel at home. You know, it's wholesome with you. It's just like, oh my gosh, why are you? You're such a nice person. You make me feel like I'm a bad person. Oh my god.
That's
But
for
no.
all of my guests, and yeah, test to that. I always try to make sure that I get that all the time. Oh my God, you made me feel at home. You made me feel at
Yeah.
ease. When my guests come on, because I know doing interviews can be nerve wracking. Alvin will tell you, I went on my girl Faith is the Substances show, and she made me choose between two of my colleagues, K Toops and Bubs of God. And it was so funny. I'm like, oh my God, it's like asking a mom to choose her favorite children. I love them both dearly. Like that's my brother and then that's my colleague. So I said, I'm gonna go with K2s.
Right.
So she made me feel at home. I felt safe and at ease. And in any environment, I always try to make sure that I make my guests feel at ease too. Like when you have a sit down conversation with me, I try to make my guests feel welcomed. I try to make them feel like they're sitting down with an old friend, and that's the feeling. You're sitting down with one of your neighbors that's next door, or whatever that may be. I try to make it as downhearted and relatable
Right.
to people as possible. Whereas going into someone else's platform myself, The shoe is on the other foot. I have done interviews on other people's platforms, and it's just like it's nerve wracking. You're biting your nails because you don't know what the feeling is going to be like. But
Exactly.
I must say that this is right. This is right. This is the calling to be able to just bond with people and create those bonds.
Right. And just overall bring people together, for communication. Because who doesn't want to do that? I feel like if you're a person that's like, oh no, I don't want to talk, you're just like going out of your way to do, you know. So no, it's just everything that you're doing with the show and how your approach to being an interviewer and just like I said before, just making everyone feel like they're at home, like they're talking to their best friend, and you really do such an amazing job with that. And I really hope that you keep going on, and just I can't wait to see where you take the show.
It's gonna be an amazing journey, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be an amazing journey, and I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready. There is so much more coming for me for this year. Like I said, more
Mm.
amazing. I call them my dazzling guests throughout the weeks. More great conversation, more things that make you think, more things that bring you joy, more things that, because I don't even tell, this is not scripted at all as far as my audience, but I don't even tell them to, you know, uh, network with each other. They just do it on their own.
Right, right,
It
right,
just happens in the chat. Sometimes I'll throw a little hint out there here or there, but they follow each other, like they're tagging each other in the comments. Shout outs to Alvin and Chrissy and so many of you. Thank y'all. And they're already mentioning each other because they've established that rapport with each
right.
other. They see each other every day when I come on. And more new faces will come in and they will get acquainted with one another. And they're joking in the comments. They're having, but I didn't even do it. Someone said you have an ability to bring people together. People who
Yeah,
I feel they have something in common with. That's how I try to do it. And I always try to find people who match each other's personalities. I'm like, okay, you would work good with this person, and you would work good with this person. So that's how I try to do it. And even when it comes to picking out my guests on the platform, that could have been a question here. How do I get my guests? How did I
yeah.
get those interviews? Definitely. So it's so many. It's so many.
How? That is a really good question. How do you go finding your guests?
Well, first for me, it's like a screening process. Of course, I sit through and I review the person that I want to interview's work. I study
Mm,
them and I study what they do and I pay attention to it and I observe it. And I'm sitting in a
mm,
space where, like, wow, this person is really into their craft. This person is really into inspiring others to get into the business. And I watch some of their interviews with others. And I'm like, they ain't got nothing on the queen. They can't come the queen over here. Now, like if they have an experience in me, it will be different than that. But
right.
the other person, I watch their interviews and I'm just like, okay, I feel as though I will click with this person.
Mm,
And I boom, reach out to them, and then we go from there. And I send them some of the clips of other interviews that I've done, and it's mind blowing to them. They're just like, I can't believe you sat with this person and this person and this person.
right.
And we just form a connection, or either we talk on the phone, and the rest is history. The rest
Yeah.
is history. We set that interview in stone, and the same way we set that date for that interview is the first time we're meeting face to face. We're talking on the phone. It's audio, of course, but at the same time, we're having that conversation.
Mm,
We're forming that bond. We're getting to know each other.
yeah.
And the
Building that
audience is seeing
relationship.
it play out in real time. And then others will say, okay, I want to come back. And I've had that happen where a guest was like, okay, you did so good. You made me feel comfortable. I would love to come back. And they will come and set their own doggone interviews up. And it's like, wait, I got to check my schedule first. But let me
Hold on.
check. But I would love to have you back on.
Right.
I definitely would because that's how I am. And I realized that being a hostess in this business, you have to be welcoming to your guests. You have to. There has never been a moment where I've made my guests not feel welcomed. I always come from it as an experience of, okay, she can be the girl next door. She can be the auntie. She can be the best friend. She can be your colleague. She all of that. I try to be all of that to my guests and make them feel welcome and comfortable, at ease. Whereas doing an interview, it can be nerve wracking because you don't know what you're going to be
Extremely
asked.
right.
Uh, your palms are getting clammy and sweaty. You're sitting there in the moment. You're trying to open your mouth to form that next sentence when that interviewer asks you that question. But for me, I try to pull from a place that is personable and I
Mm,
share some of my experience. And I think that is what people relate to the most is just from not only just myself, but the guests sharing their experience. And then
absolutely.
start sharing it in the comments like,
Yeah,
I've been through this too. Because real people go through real life issues. And that's something that I truly, truly believe and stand firm on. Like you're sharing your experience can touch someone to share their experience. So that's how it
absolutely.
works.
That's beautiful. I mean, just I feel like those are all the components of the things that really bring people together and really just make people interesting. I feel like the most interesting people are the people who are the most personable, who actually have something to say. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay, so what this person is saying, it's inspirational and it's motivational, and they deserve to have that voice and then to be heard. And I feel like your show is definitely one of the platforms that give those people a place to do that.
Absolutely. And I always try to make it a safe space for people. Um, Sometimes my guests get emotional at some of the questions
Mm,
and they'll cry. It makes them think about something. And I'm like, no, 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 I didn't mean to make you cry, but this is a safe space. And I reassure them of that.
yeah.
That in that moment you're safe with me, I'm safe with you. We have this bond, and I always say this. I say that when we are in that spaceship, of course I'm the pilot of the spaceship, but we rotate that pilot seat. I go
Yeah.
to the passenger side, you go to the passenger side. And we're both sharing our experiences from real life that can help
Absolutely.
people because you never know what a person could be going through in their life in real time. Just
You
from
never know.
listening to someone's story, it can help save them. So, yeah.
100%.
So, Fashion Dolls, if we don't have any other questions, oh, well, do we have any questions, Fashion Dolls? To you if you're just joining in, make sure you are subscribing because we have more amazing interviews. We have Christian Barber joining me Thursday. We have Justice Howard Tower joining me Friday. So, yes, I know you guys were looking forward to the one with Emily, but unfortunately, something came up. And she is going to be on the show later this year. So, make sure you guys stay tuned for that. So, we've rescheduled. She's coming back on a little later in this year. So, make sure you guys stay tuned and follow me on Instagram if you have not, Style by Stevie underscore daytime, so you can be alert. The lineups for each interview drop Friday. So
Mm.
make sure you guys stay tuned for that to find out who's going to be coming in next week or next month on the show. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Also, like Alvin just said in the comments, look forward to me on the panel. Alvin Tip for Tat, this and that with my colleague Bubs the God, my brother K2. Who else is going to be on there? Deshaun, Harold, all Boss Man might even pop up. All of us are,
Mm.
yes, we're coming back together. So you guys stay tuned for that. But before we conclude this interview, if we don't have any other questions, Joseph, what would you say? Because we covered a number of things. Wait a minute. Oh, we got a question from Chrissy. I was
What
about
kind
to
of
wrap.
music?
What kind of music do you listen to?
uh, I listen to all types of music. Honestly, I like music with a good thumping beat. So sometimes I'll go from Nas, Method Man, Tupac, and sometimes I'll go Aretha Franklin, Janis Joplin, the Beatles. It's just it's waves. I love all types of music, so I wouldn't say there's a specific kind. Um, I have an ear for everything, I guess.
Shout outs to my girl, Faith is the substance. She says salutations. Hello. Make sure that y'all definitely go and check out my girl Faith. And she has King from the Royal Couch coming on the 27th tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in and go and check her out as well. Right now, we're just taking some questions from the audience. So if you guys have any questions for myself or Joseph, we just got through doing the turn the table segment. If you guys are just coming in on the tail end of that. And I was giving you guys updates on what's coming for this week. Again, Thursday we have Christian Barber joining me, and no show tomorrow, but Friday and Thursday, yes, Thursday and Friday, Justice
Mm,
Hightower will be joining me, and you guys have seen him in the film Karma, which is a great. If you are a suspense film lover, you guys go and check that out on Tubi. The film is titled Karma, and he'll be joining me Friday on the show. And then next month, sneak peek, we have Ty Wayne Wheat coming on. So he's a regular on the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well. And more collaborations, more amazing collaborations from some of your favorite people that I've met here on the YouTube verse. So you're going to be shocked. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. Make sure you guys are following as well. Some of your favorite YouTubers just might be in that lineup. All right. So, any last minute questions for myself or Joseph before we wrap Fashion Dolls? And today's show was about centering yourself,
mm,
centering
yeah.
yourself and making sure that you are being gentle to yourself, which is something that I am an advocate for. I preach on it a lot about making sure that you are taking time for yourself because you can't pour into somebody else. I remember a friend of mine told me that about when it came to taking care of my mom. They said, make sure you're good too. Make sure your health isn't good. Make sure you're good too. You know, of course, it's one thing to take care of her, but you can't take care of her if you're not taking care of yourself. So make sure that you are taking time for yourself as well. And
Mm.
that's what today's show is so centered around. So, Fashion Dolls, any last minute questions before we wrap? Any last minute questions for myself? This was an amazing conversation. I had an amazing time. Miss Stevie, are you going to do a meet? You know what? Um, Girl, somebody asked me that same question not too long ago, and but he'll be coming on the show later. Well, next month actually. He asked me the same thing. He was actually going to come to me and do the interview in person, and I said, "Nope, I want to fill it out first. I want to do it virtually." And I know everybody wants to do a meet and greet or live in show persons, but ever since the pandemic happened, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm a germaphobe. I am a big germaphobe, y'all. If you know me, I don't bite my tongue. But when Miss 19 hit, let's just keep it that way. When Miss 19 made her rounds and everything was shut down, I was like, okay, uh-uh. I didn't want to hug nobody. I didn't want to do nothing. I was just like, okay, one cough, and I'm like, up, okay. So a big germaphobe. And you know what? It's not just me, but my brother, who I was talking about because I have four brothers. My brother who served in the military is the same exact way.
Mm,
Like, dot every I, cross every T. I mean, he will wipe up the water around the sink. Make sure that the soap in the soap dish is even straight. OCD is bad, and I think it's rubbed off on me as well too, to the point where after everything that I cook, I got to make sure that every dish, everything, countertop, everything is washed off completely. So we'll see, Faith. We'll see, girl. Miss 19 did her number, and now we got something else new. I'm like, oh Lord, it's something every day. It's something else every day, and y'all posting these pictures of this type of bugs, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like Miss Juicy from Little Women Atlanta. I can't. I cannot. But we will see. We will see. But I would love to. I would love to because things are opening back up. There's going to be a lot of festivals going on, a lot of music festivals. Chrissy asked Joseph about music. So we might just see. We just might see. So stay tuned. Any more questions, fashion dolls, for myself or Joseph before we wrap? Because this was such a great conversation. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just take a few minutes away from your day. Some of you are just getting off from work. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I know you just want to take time. Chrissy said something earlier. Pour yourself a glass of wine. And this is the time.
Right. It's definitely the
When
time.
it's in that 5 o'clock or that 6 o'clock hour, I know a lot of people are just getting home from work, wanting to take a few minutes out of the day to, okay, put their bags down, relax, and
Take a breather.
everything else.
Uh,
So you got to regroup. You got to regroup.
you have to.
So if we don't have any more questions, Fashion Dolls, the final thought, today's final thought of centering, what would you tell to anybody, Joseph, on centering themselves and pouring into themselves and just being gentle overall?
I would say pouring into yourself is the most essential thing, especially if you're someone that has goals of wanting to be in the entertainment industry. You're going to have to
Oh,
give
yeah.
yourself that time to recharge because there's barely any time to recharge. It's very just go, 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 go. So definitely feed into yourself, pour into yourself, invest in yourself, and really just, you know, even if it's for 5 minutes, just take a breather, close your eyes, center yourself, and remember that it's not a sprint, it's a race. You're not always going to finish everything that you want in time, but it'll get done. Just give yourself some grace and just keep going.
Absolutely. And one question that I asked Joseph was, what does he wish that society have more of? Today's final thought talks about kindness, and it's one of my favorite literary giants. Like, I love this woman. Um, my sister, before she passed away, she had the pleasure of meeting her, a god, uh, Maya Angelou. Today's final thought comes from Dr. Maya Angelou. And she has a thought that goes like this: do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. This is about being kind and gentle to yourself. And that means making sure that you pour into you. Find something that is affirming, that is uplifting. Every morning when I get up, first thing I do my morning devotion. I have a conversation with God. And I say that what's called the warrior's prayer. Like, the lines in the prayer is, I put on the breastplate of righteousness. I want each and every one of us to put on our breastplate of righteousness. I want each and every one of us to refuel, recharge, regroup, and rejuvenate. And that's what I would close today's show with as well, too. Making sure that you are pouring into yourself. And we do so much for everybody. It's okay to be selfish a little bit. Like I said, and I used this example, which I did, uh, which is go to the hair salon. You can go shoot pool with your friends, shoot basketball with your friends. Because I know a lot of my brother and my dad, they are UFC. You said UFC, that's the first person who came to mind. They love UFC. Y'all will get along great, Joseph, because they love boxing, they love sports. Um, for my ladies, for anybody, but mostly for my ladies, take a minute out of your day. Get your nails done, get your hair done. There's never a moment you're not going to see me in glam, hair, nails, makeup, anything except for my morning walks. Y'all see me without makeup, the whole shebang. But the nails stay done. Everything has to be waxed. I go and I get everything done, the whole service, the whole shebang. But make sure that you are taking time out. Get a deep tissue massage.
Mm,
Uh, my mom has a green thumb. She likes to garden. That's her self care. And I'm seeing a lot of everybody, a lot of creatives emerge from gardening. So it's so therapeutic, again, to center yourself with nature. The kind of nature that I want to stay away from though is the snakes and the frogs. So we gonna stick to the plants and the trees, and that's it. And that's what I'm gonna close today's show with, Fashion Dolls. I love y'all all. And Joseph, let everyone know where they can follow you because I'm definitely gonna bring you back for season 21. Yes, Bombshell. I'm gonna bring him back.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on social media. On here, I'm on Facebook, just Kitembo Jr. Instagram, it's underscore Joey the Goat. It's the same handle on TikTok as well, underscore Joey the Goat. I am actively trying to get better at posting, but stay tuned. I got some, small little acting clips here and there that I post, interviews. I've been featured on several covers of magazines. Just be on the lookout for work that I do.
The project is entitled, and also the rejects. Trey Chaney. Make sure you guys go and check that out, and also check out Joseph's podcast, Who Killed Alaska. Make sure y'all go and check that out as well too on Amazon and on all platforms. Without further ado, Fashion Dolls, stay safe, stay fabulous, be amazing, stay cool. If you're in South Carolina, early voting begins today. Make sure you get out there and do your civic duty. I did mine way early this morning.
Mm.
So make sure y'all go and do that. Stay cool, drink lots of water, stay hydrated. I love y'all. Until next time, Fashion Dolls. I will see y'all Thursday. But in the meantime, holding it down for me. Y'all head on over and check out my girl, Faith is the Substance. Uh, she's going to be interviewing King from the Royal Couch. So y'all make sure y'all check her out tomorrow on the 27th. Yes, I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be back. Your girl will be back Friday and Thursday. I love y'all, Fashion Dolls, and I will see y'all then, and the replay will be up. Till next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.